Government has a primary responsibility for checking, for preventing crimes, for securing lives and properties. Government should deploy the powers of cohesion available to them. We cannot sleep here. We need regular patrol of armed men around them all.
Indigenes of Udoda and Gene community in Eweda West local government area of River State have cried out over alleged indiscriminate destruction of property of residents of the area by men in military uniform. Speaking to our correspondent, a youth leader in the community, Comrade Onem condemned the military invasion of the community, which has left many of his people homeless. Stressing that he was not against military presence in Udoda and Gene, he expressed concern about the wanton destruction of property of indigents of the area by the men. Onem called on government at all levels and other relevant authorities to come to the aid of residents of Udoda and Gene community, just as he appealed to the chief of army staff to call his men to order.
I totally condemn the military invasion of my great community, Udoda and Gene, in our West local government area. And I'm using this medium to call on the relevant authority, also the government of Rivers State, the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari, and the Chief of Army Staff to call his boys to order. We are not against the military present in our area, but what we are against is the destructions of properties in our community. We are also letting the world know that my people have been left homeless as a result of this invasion.
Onem also stated that his people were not part of or in support of oil bunkery activities ongoing in Udoda and Gene, which he attributed to miscreants he claimed were from a neighboring state.
We never supported the bunkering activity that is going on there, that the innocent persons in the community will be so affected. And so I want to say that the bunkering activity in that area should be stopped and stopped forever.
The military joint task force are yet to react to this report. Some tricycle drivers, also known as keke drivers plying the NTA in Boba Road, have spoken on the difficulty in differentiating between security agents and criminals who pose as passengers. Some of the drivers said criminals now disguised as security agents are harassing and extorting money from them after 7 p.m. The respondent said the criminals are taking advantage of the government ban on keke from 7 p.m.
Which is not good. Sometimes some of them will just come and dress in a way that, like the one we saw last night was putting on a soldier cap. Then the other one was having a kind of polo, all this camouflage polo inside. Now, threatening our people, telling us that they are police, and if we fail to respond, they will not take you to police station. So what they just
are teaming up, holding keke and collecting their money. To the point that one of our guys, they fought with him and wanted to collect a new keke. The guy insists. We don't know who is thief again. They use the name of security, snipe people's keke. Let the government should look into that. That this is it's too bad. It's too bad. It's unfair that there is insecurity everywhere. Bad boys are coming to catch keke in the night.
Members of the Peter Odike-led faction of the All Progressive Congress, APC, in outer East and West local government areas of River State have defected to the People's Democratic Party in the state. A leader of the defectors and elder statesman Stephen Ezekwem, who spoke on behalf of other members, told newsmen in Port Harcourt that their decision was informed after intensive deliberations and wide consultations among themselves because the APC is a weak party. Ezekwem also claimed that the leader of their former party is autocratic, adding that the minister's handling of the party led to the downfall of APC in River State.
After intensive deliberations and wide consultations amongst the leadership of all Progressive Congress and party faithful in Outer East and Outer West local government areas, especially those who recognize the leadership of Prince Peter Odike, JP faction of all Progressive Congress in Rivers, named their APC leadership and structure in Rivers State is weak as a result of bad leadership resulting to bickerings, hate speeches, and an unending enmity among party faithful. That APC in Rivers State is now in the whims and caprices of an autocrat and therefore undemocratic.
Stephen Ezekwem, who's a former Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, commended the administrative style of Governor Nyesom Wike, stating that Ekpaya people have witnessed rapid growth in terms of infrastructure and human capital development.
On the other hand, we have observed as follows that the administration of Chief Barrister Ezebonwo Nyesom-Wike CON GSS-RS POS Africa has consistently observed the tenets of democracy in all its facets. That the development of the entire River State is his cardinal policy. That the Ekpe people have witnessed serious capital-intensive projects and appointments that need appreciation. Based on the above, we hereby drop our membership of All Progressive Congress and return to our original home, the People's Democratic Party. We call on all our teaming supporters who are not present here to return to People's Democratic Party in their various wards and local governments.
Our correspondent, Sandra Kenneth, reports that former deputy leader of the River State House of Assembly, Inam Ewo, former commissioner of Local Government Commission, Mbaduwe Ewo Allen, defected with leaders of APC in Outer East and West and over 300 others to the PDP. The acting executive director of finance and administration of Niger Delta Development Commission, Chris Oyerinda, has disclosed that the commission will extend its intervention to less privileged homes. Oyerinda disclosed this when he led friends of Rotimi Amechi on a visit and presentation of items to the motherless babies' homes to mark the 54th birthday of the Minister of Transportation. Responding to some challenges of lack of electricity, vehicle and healthcare, bad condition of internal roads presented by some management of motherless baby homes, Oyerinda said the NDDC will collaborate with the Minister, Rotimi Amechi, to ensure that their challenges are resolved.
26 years in something that we never planned or intended. But one child came, we saw the need, and God just continued to send. As He's sending children, He's also sending resources. And you have been a very big part of His resources, His provision. So we thank you. I know you're representing somebody, and you're representing a happy occasion.
Kindness, and we would like you to convey our heartfelt gratitude to the Minister of Transport, Chibika Amechi, for his kindness and goodness to the children. Thank you for coming to the Child Special School for Children with Intellectual Disabilities. We are grateful to see you. And we have a lot of challenges, but first of all, we want to thank you for remembering us on a very special day today.
We are asking a good Lord to reward you people for the good work we have been doing for the people of God. Our prayer for Amechi is that one day you will be the president of this country in Jesus' name. That is our prayer since yesterday, that our people will be there and be the president of this country. We are asking the good Lord to strengthen him.
Reverend Mother Ngozi Obi, Cliff Jerry, and Sylvia Anyanwu commended the friends of Amechi for their gesture.
Like I said, these are friends of Rotimi Amechi. So he has made some offer in the line of medical. I'm going to, after here, discuss with my boss, the managing director, and I'm very sure he will graciously approve that we send you some school chairs. And when I get that approval, I'm sure within the next 3 weeks, you will receive those chairs. We pray that God will continue to bless you. What you're doing is clearly in line with the injunctions of the scripture. This is what the scripture had asked us to do as Christians. We should reach out to the poor. We should take care of those who do not have, who are orphans, which is what you're doing. And we would assure you that our leader will continue to reach out to you.
Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has said he would resign if his eldest son bids for the speakership of the House of Representatives, having won a seat in the lower chamber of parliament in elections earlier this month. The 74-year-old leader has asked his son Paulo to let him know 3 days in advance of announcing his bid for the speakership of the House so he can tender his resignation. The Indonesian president was quoted as saying, "There are too many of us. Your sister is mayor of the southern city of Davao, then the vice mayor is my younger son." Duterte had previously warned his daughter against running for president in 2022 amid talk that she was a strong contender for the top post. Heavy flooding in Paraguay has displaced 70,000 families and is threatening to further inundate the capital, Asuncion, in the coming weeks. Paraguay's Weather Bureau, Department of Meteorology and Hydrology, said water levels on the Paraguay River are rising. Meteorologist Eduardo Mingo said unusually heavy downpours over May, including 2 days which together exceeded Asuncion's average monthly rainfall, have exacerbated the flooding. The government has mobilized armed forces to help displaced residents relocate to shelters, but hundreds of families have opted to stay behind in their inundated homes. Ethiopia's foreign ministry has apologized after a map of Africa on its website incorporated neighboring Somalia within its own borders. Somalia had been completely erased from the map, but the self-declared territory of Somaliland, which is not internationally recognized, was shown. The map has caused an uproar on social media. The mistake is especially sensitive as Ethiopia and Somalia have long been rivals and have fought border wars, including the Ogaden conflict in the 1970s. And now to end the news, here is a summary of the major stories. President Muhammadu Buhari will tonight hold a special interview that will be aired on network television stations by 7 p.m. The Rivers State government has set up a committee to investigate last Thursday's incident at Community Secondary School Oroworoko in Port Harcourt. We also told you that youths in Udoda and Genen community in Outer West local government area are appealing to the military over the invasion of their community. On the foreign scene, you heard that the heavy flooding has displaced over 70,000 persons in Paraguay. That was the news as edited by Victor Iziama. For comments and enquiries, please call 0815-341-8657 or 0814-434-3502 or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. I am Kala Dakuru Batabo. Thank you for listening. Good evening to you, and stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Hello, Debbie. Where are you heading to?
I'm going to Apostolic Faith School.
Apostolic Faith School?
Yes, Apostolic Faith is an established missionary school comprising creche, nursery, primary, and even secondary schools. AFSS is a co-educational boarding and day school with standard boarding facilities. Admission forms for 2019/2020 academic year are now available for collection.
Wow, Debbie, thank you so much.
We are government approved with WAEC and NECO accreditation centers. We offer admission into creche, nursery, primary, GS 1 to 2 and SS 1 to 2. Apostolic Faith School is located at number 56 Elioparan 1 Road, up at the Judge Junction, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. You can contact us on the following numbers: 0903-828-9551 or 0902-641-6250. Email address afssph@yahoo.com.
Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Good evening and welcome to another loaded edition of Soccer Nation, the best 15 minutes of football you can find anywhere on radio. And of course, it's your Superman in the world of sports, Wisdom Obina. And I'm set to fly you through the ever-exciting world of football. All right, we've got juicy stories. First coming in from the local scene as usual. Of course, they say charity begins at home. So we would be off with some local stories. The MPFL, of course, came to an end, plus one or two other breaking stories. And of course, in just about an hour time, the under-20 side of Nigeria, the Flying Eagles, they would be coming up against the Yanks of USA in their second group match right there at the under-20 World Cup. All this and a whole lot more will be coming your way right here on the show. All right, straight we kick off from the local scene where the federal government, yes, on Monday fulfilled as today. They fulfilled a 25-year-old pledge to former technical advisor of the Super Eagles, Clement Westerhoff. Now, at an impressive ceremony inside the conference room of the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, Abuja, Honorable Minister Babatunde Raji Fashola said the occasion was a further proof that the administration was committed to putting right the wrongs of yesterday and redressing all forms of yesterday's injustice. Now, Westerhoff, a Dutchman, was head coach of the Super Eagles class of 1994, appropriately styled Golden Generation that won Nigeria's first ever FIFA World Cup ticket, won Nigeria's first ever Africa Cup of Nations title on away ground, and reached the round of 16 at the FIFA World Cup in USA. Fashola himself, the first great footballer enthusiast, eulogized the virtues of football as a great unifier. Yes, promise fulfilled right there. Clemens Westerhoff was promised a house, I tell you. But of course, finally, he's getting that one after 25 years. Too much of a time, I tell you, to wait for a reward. But of course, it's better than nothing, especially when it concerns Nigeria. Let's move straight to the MPFL, where we recorded the most surprising results and as well, week 22 outcome of the last day. Shocking in two places, I tell you, especially El Kanemi Warriors, who were topping the table till week 15 of the MPFL. Just 7 matches to the end, the same team got relegated to the second tier of the Nigeria National League. I tell you, the MPFL could be intriguing at times. You can't believe it that just 6 points separates some third place teams and even the relegation zone. But let me run through the results. Katsina United did beat Enyimba 2-1. Niger Tornadoes lost to Kwara United 1-0. Remo Stars did play out a goalless draw with Lobby Stars. Our own Rivers United here in Rivers State, they beat Bendel Insurance 1-0. Sunshine Stars beat MFMFC 4-2. Wiki Tourist, they did beat Enugu Rangers 1-0. In Group B, Abbey Warriors, they beat Kano Pillars 3-0. Delta Force, they played out a goalless draw with Plateau United. While Go Round FC did lose to Gombe United 1-0. Heartland FC beat El Kanemi Warriors 2-0, confirming their relegations right there. FC Fanyoba, they beat Aqua United 2-1, qualifying for the playoffs in the process. While Yobe Desert Stars did lose to Nasarawa United 2-1. That one ended. Interesting, I tell you. What a way for the MPFL to end. We, of course, clearly know the teams that would be going over right there to the playoffs. Now, let me just give you the teams that first were relegated. El Kanemi Warriors are down. Remo Stars also will be joining them. The Big Bendel Insurance, with all the paparazzi from the government, they would be going down also. Gombe United are also there. Niger Tornadoes, Kwara United, Go Round FC, as much as Yobe Desert Stars. Meanwhile, the likes of Rangers, Lobby Stars, Enyimba, Aqua United, Kano Pillars, and of course, the boys, the people who completed this at last day of the season, FC Fanyoba, they would be playing the Super 6. Of course, just in case you don't know, the Super 6 will be determining or would serve as a determinant to who wins the league right there. Just the playoff series, and of course, we'll be getting a league winner right there for the MPFL. We move straight to the Under-20. Well, of course, ahead of the game, Flying Eagles manager Paul Aegbogun has announced his starting lineup for the national team's second Group D fixture at the ongoing FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Poland. Aegbogun has opted to name Olawole Oremade as the starting goalkeeper for the second straight game, meaning Dayton Ogundare and Jonathan Zakala will watch from the sidelines. Enyimba's Valentine Ozonwafo and Emmanuel Amunike Academy's Aliyu Salawuddin will start in central defense, while with captain Iko Emudo and Zulkifilu Rabiu taking the left and right back slots respectively. Bournemouth Nnamdi Ofobo will not make his full competitive debut as he has been named on the bench. I'm expecting to see that young man. Hope he comes in a little later on today. Norwegian-based Jerome Ako comes into the side to lead the line, and he will be partnered up front by the lively Henry Ofia. The United States vs Nigeria match will be staged at the Bielsko Biala Stadium. Bielsko Biala, starting from 7:30 Nigerian time. Sure, between that thereabout, if you can't catch that one, of course, it would be exciting. Hopefully, the Flying Eagles, I beg your pardon, will be able to seal this win. We'll move on to the Super Eagles. Well, a little warning first coming in from Henry Wosu. He's been talking tough about this game in the flying for the Flying Eagles, and he's been trying to tell the Eagles not to actually underrate the United States team. Now, former Nigerian under-20 coach Henry Wosu has warned the Flying Eagles that USA will be difficult to beat when they meet in their second Group D game in the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Poland today. And after USA lost 2-1 to Ukraine in their opener, Wosu believed the Americans will be firing on all cylinders in their quest to reach the knockout stage of the competition. This is what he said, and I quote, "They should approach the game with all seriousness. That we won the first game does not mean we have to take our eyes off the pedal. It's when we win the second game we can be celebrating, because once we win against USA, then we have qualified for the next round. I will plead with them that they should take the game with every seriousness. It deserves at least get a draw. They should go for a win, and if it ends in a draw, good for them. USA will come strong against Nigeria after they lost their opening game. That is why the Flying Eagles have to be well prepared." Yes, Henry Wosu, of course, he has all the experience, I tell you, when it comes to this competition. We've not done better than just getting to the final, which happened in 1989 in Saudi Arabia, as much as 2005, where we finished runners-up to Argentina. In 1989, we did finish runners-up to Portugal. I would be hoping to actually change that if that happens, but of course, it's a developmental competition. I like to keep that at the back of my mind. All right, Victor Moses. Yes, a lot have been said about him. The 28-year-old winger is a favorite of Antonio Conte, but of course had no room in Mauricio Sarri's plans and was sent on an 18-month loan deal to Fenerbahce in January. Now, news have it that Antonio Conte might just be named very soon as the new manager of Inter Milan. And guess what? He might just be going right there for Victor Moses. Now, however, although that deal was meant, that's the deal for the loan deal at Fenerbahce for Moses was meant to run to June 2020. The Nigerian international announced, however, that he won't see it to the very end. This is what he said, and I quote, he told reporters, "I had a very enjoyable experience, but I won't be here next season. I am leaving Fenerbahce," Moses told reporters. He concluded by saying, "I want a new adventure in my career." And of course, that new adventure might just be a good move, or you want to say, to Inter Milan. All right, straight to Europe, and we start off with what happened in the weekend. A little of Barcelona being crowned, of course, the Copa del Rey champions. But the funny part of it is the president of the club has decided to stick out with head coach Ernesto Valverde. There was also triumph for the likes of Sporting Lisbon in Portugal, and of course in Germany, Bayern Munich did triumph over RB Leipzig. All right, let's stop off at Man City, where Man City chairman Khaldun Al-Mubarak says some of their rivals are jealous of the club's success. City became the first English side to win a domestic treble when they beat Watford 6-0 in the FA Cup final. Yet, the achievement has been accompanied by criticism of the amount it has cost to put Guardiola's side together. However, in his annual assessment of the campaign on City's internal media, Mubarak said he will not accept his club being used as a diversionary tactic on poor investment decisions. Premier League champion City do not have a player in the top 10 most expensive signings. English rivals Manchester United have two, £89 million Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku, bought for an initial £75 million, and Liverpool have one in £75 million Virgil van Dijk. City's record signing is Riyad Mahrez, who they bought from Leicester for £60 million in July 2018. While their other biggest transfers include Omeric Laporte for £57 million, Kevin De Bruyne for £55 million, and Benjamin Mendy for £52 million. With success, there is a certain level of jealousy, envy, whatever you call it. That's part of the game. Yes, Man City chairman right there, Khaldun Al-Mubarak, saying that it's just jealousy. All these statements about his team spending too much money is just jealousy from other sides. But we can also tell you that still on business of the football, Mike Ashley, the Newcastle owner, is in talks to sell the club to billionaire Sheikh Khalid. Newcastle United owner Mike Ashley is in talks to sell the club, I tell you, and to UAE billionaire's investment group Zayed Al Nahyan. Sheikh Khalid bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the UAE billionaire's investment group, has said Sheikh Khalid is a cousin of Manchester City owner Sheikh Mansour, who failed with a £2 billion takeover of Liverpool last year. It has been reported the deal for Newcastle will be worth £350 million. The same money has taken over football. I just hope Newcastle won't become the new Man City of English football. All right, to Tottenham, where Harry Kane, the captain of the team, he has said he's ready to go after recovering from injury in time for Saturday's Champions League final against Liverpool. Kane suffered significant lateral ligament damage to his left ankle when he slipped in the quarterfinal first leg against Manchester City on 9th April. And Spurs manager Mauricio Pochettino initially feared the England skipper would miss the rest of the season. Kane said, and I quote, "I feel good. There have been no problems so far. I started to feel my way back with the team at the end of last week. This week now is to get the fitness as high as possible." Kane has scored 24 goals in all competitions for Tottenham this season, despite missing 6 weeks in January and February with damaged ligaments in the same ankle. And the question would be, if you were Mauricio Pochettino, would you risk taking a certain unfit, you want to say, in terms of match fitness, Harry Kane, and playing him in a much anticipated Champions League final? All right, let's tell you that Aston Villa, yes, Anwar El Ghazi, if you follow the Premier League when they were there, he was there, and John McGinn scored the decisive goals to end Villa's 3-year absence from English top flight. Aston Villa have been promoted, I tell you, to the Premier League. They did beat Derby 2-1 in the Championship playoff final held earlier today. Villa held off a late fight back from Frank Lampard's team at Wembley to book their return to the English top flight after 3 years in the Championship. As I told you, Anwar El Ghazi opened the scoring late in the first half when he met Ahmed El Mohamedi's cross to beat Kelly Ross, and John McGinn headed into an open goal on the hour mark after an error from Derby goalkeeper. And Jack Marriott actually pulled one back for the Rams, talking about Derby County in the 81st minute in a tense finish to the game, as Jayden Bogley and Mason Mount also came close to finding the net. Well, that just means that we are not going to be seeing Frank Lampard in the English Premier League because, of course, Aston Villa did beat his team, Derby County. All right, just before we leave the studio, let's run through some tidbits coming in rather from the transfer market. We have Barcelona target Matthias de Ligt, who is 19 years of age, will make a decision on his future after the Netherlands Nations League games. And the Ajax defender says he does like the Premier League. This according to ESPN. Meanwhile, PSG boss Thomas Tuchel says he cannot guarantee Brazil forward Neymar and 20-year-old French striker Kylian Mbappe will be at the French champions next season. Meanwhile, PSG have discussed a move for Liverpool's 33-year-old English midfielder James Milner, whose contract with the Reds expire next year. Meanwhile, Manchester City, they have entered the race to sign £40 million rated Monaco player Yuri Tielemans, while Leicester also won the 22-year-old Belgium midfielder who was with them on loan this season. Meanwhile, City and United, Man City and Man United, will compete to sign Portugal defender João Cancelo if Juventus' new manager decides the 25-year-old can leave the Serie A champions. Real Madrid manager Zinedine Zidane wants to keep Spanish defender Sergio Ramos at the La Liga club next season, despite interest in the 33-year-old from Liverpool, Manchester United and teams in China. And just before we run out, let's also bring in a little tidbit. Tottenham have been told they will have to pay £20 million for Leeds United 18-year-old English winger Jack Clark. Meanwhile, PSG's owners were reportedly interested in investing in Leeds United, but the Championship club's owner Andrea Radrizzani does not intend to sell his stake in the Elland Road club at least a year. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich first Argentina defender Marcos Rojo, who's 29, has said he has been reassured he has a future at Manchester United. And I start asking myself, who is actually going to be leaving this United side if everybody is getting assurance? And the Bayern Munich president Uli Hoeneß has told former Germany and Manchester City defender Jerome Boateng, who's 30 years of age, that he can leave the Bundesliga champions. And on that note, we call it a wrap on today's edition of Soccer Nation, the best 15 minutes of football you can find anywhere on radio. My name is Wisdom Obinna, and of course, the show makes a return tomorrow, same time, same station. Until then, as I would always say, go out tonight and have for yourself a football field evening. Of course, we all will be expectant. We pray the Flying Eagles will do us proud over there in Poland.
Talk radio. Eat and leave. But my bed is final. I want you to know that I love you so.
If you guys are ready to have a good time, let me hear y'all make some noise right now.
Yeah, that's right. You're listening to Entertainment
Recap
on Today 95.1 FM.
Sometimes I'm down, but around me balance. When you're around, you make me proud. Then you turn it upside down. So my fear me still. Oh, I like it here. Baby, baby, me. Alone, family, you touching me. You want it, color, love me, love me, love me, love me. And I call you names to get your attention, but you know my game. You leave for work, I try to make you stay. You kiss me better, and then I ask you to do it again. Baby, baby, me. Me, you touching me. You want it, color, love me, love me, love me, love me.
Oh yes, Love Me, Love Me, Love Me, Love Me by Tiwa Savage. Yes, so it is the entertainment recap, like you rightly heard, and I am Naomi Harry. Yes, here to give you interesting stories on the stuff that has transpired in the entertainment industry recently. You know, stuff to interest you. You know, keep you updated, keep you up to date. Anyway, I'm having so much fun in the studio, and it's Monday Memories. And you know what we do on Mondays? I take you back a little bit. You know, you are going to spend the Monday remembering, any iconic Nigerian star. And our star for today is Tiwa Savage. Yes, our 39-year-old Nigerian icon, singer, songwriter, amazing woman, and mother. I wish I could add wife to that, but then really happy woman. That's what's a point of interest. So she rose to the scene in 2011. That's when everybody got to know her. Love Me was released in 2013, and ever since then she has been giving us great hits back to back to back. So you are gonna call me and then tell me your favorite Tiwa Savage song, and I'll see if I can end the show with it. Yes. So. Yeah, and also another thing you're going to tell me when you call me, before I head straight into the stories, you're going to nominate 3 Nigerian musicians that you think can be president, vice president, and Senate president. Yeah, rather interesting, right? Yeah, so president, vice president, and Senate president. Now, we're not saying because they have shown, political, aspirations or whatever it is. Just 3 people that you really like, and that in an ideal world, if the country was ruled by music, you think should be president, vice president, and Senate president of Nigeria. Yeah, so that's what you're gonna call in and tell me. And anyway, so straight to the stories before I open the phone lines. Just got just a few minutes on the show. Anyway, so first story. First story. Saidi Balogun.
Yes, he's a Nigerian actor and an entertainer. Yeah, so feel free to comment on this story. Now, he says that Nigerian entertainers have a huge role to play in the drug abuse fight. Now, so he did a movie, Scourge, and the movie was targeted at fighting drug abuse, and we know a lot of youth nowadays are fighting the struggle, the addiction, for drugs and all of that. Yeah, so he said that if all hands were on deck in the STEM industry, it would be able to come to a stop. Do you think that's possible? Do you think it's publicity that can solve the problem? Do you think if people, celebrities came in and said, it's bad, everybody said it was bad, it would end? I think, publicity would do good, but it's not going to solve the problem, So the entertainers on board could help. In my opinion, the entertainers on board could help, but then I don't think they could. Solving the problem is in their hands. Yeah, so that's just me. Anyway, on another story now, RMD, Richard Movedamajo, yes, man cake. Yeah, so the handsome R&D Nigerian actor and veteran, amazing man, came out to talk about surgeries and body enhancement, plastic surgery and body enhancements, and he had something interesting to say. I'll read that to you. He said, true happiness comes from knowing who you are and self-discovery, loving yourself. Anyone who can live without caring about the validation of others is the one who has found true happiness. Yeah, true that. I agree with that. And he went on to say, a woman who is secure in her looks has no urge to go under the knife for enhancements. Think Michelle Obama. Yes, think Michelle Obama. Natural is beautiful. And besides, imagine living 30 years of your life, 25 years of your life, 26, sometimes up to 40, being one person, and then at this point you decide that you want to make enhancements and be a whole different person. And is it that for 30 years you haven't been comfortable in your skin? It's thought-provoking. Anyway, so he went on to say, having been there, she said, according to Michelle Obama, having been there, I can tell you for free that weight loss, weight gain, butt enlargement, butt lift, marriage, buying or building your own house, having kids, wearing expensive clothes and shoes cannot make you truly happy. Yeah, they cannot make you truly happy. Mostly the things we do to show others we are beautiful, made, tough, and or connected are things that magnify our insecurities. Yes, so the harder you try, the more you portray yourself as insecure, as doing too much, as uncomfortable in your own skin. Yeah, so would you do that to yourself? Would you? Anyway, so one more story before we open the phone lines. Now, Ike Osaki-Odua. Yes, Ike Osaki-Odua. He is a media personality. He's one of the biggest people in Lagos, biggest media personalities now. He was the Big Brother Africa host, and he has been doing amazing for himself. He's also really cute and really tall. Anyway, so Ike turned 40. Yes, so he had a Game of Thrones themed party over the weekend, and it was amazing. If you ask me, it even broke the internet. So now, for us, the Game of Thrones fans, Sunday passed, there was no new episode, and we had already gotten used to, new episode every weekend, and it's been happening for like 6 weeks, and so now it finally came to an end, and Ike gave us his birthday GOT themed party for the weekend, something to chew on. Now, it was really amazing. Nigerian celebrities came in looking beautiful. Now, my favorite thing about this is it's expressed the creativity that our designers now have. Yeah, we have designers that have evolved over time. Now, they make crazy costumes that you'd never expect. They were so beautiful. Some celebrities really, really nailed it, and the credit goes to all of their designers and them for actually picking an outfit. Yeah, so I think another thing is many of them came dressed as Jon Snow. Yes, but I think the best dressed Jon Snow was Ebuka at the party. Adesua came in as Daenerys, and Waje and Toke Makinwa came in as Sansa. Yes, Sansa. And Usikwandu came in as Khal Drogo, and he was so handsome. He was so hot. Ike, of course, Ike, birthday boy, came in as the Night King. Yes, the Night King. Now, so if you were going to go to a Game of Thrones themed party, for those of you who are Game of Thrones fans, give it a thought. Who are you going to go dressed as? Who are you going to go dressed as? Anyway, so several people, Banky W dressed as Sojura, right next to his wife, who was Daenerys. One would expect him to be Jon Snow, but then Sojura is a better outfit. And then Kobams also was in the Jon Snow outfit. Bovi also, Bovi's wife was the Red Woman, and Melisandre, yeah. So I think I'm boring the rest of you who are not Game of Thrones fans, but if you watch Game of Thrones, this is, it's breathtaking, and you have to hit the internet to find out the rest on that. Anyway, so remember, you can call me on these lines that I'll give you now, but then you're calling me to tell me your favorite Tiwa Savage song, and the 3 musicians that you are going to nominate, you in an idealistic world, yes, that you're going to nominate as president, vice president, and Senate president. Yes, so if we're going to make them politicians, who are they going to be? Who are your nominees? Call me and tell me your nominees, and then also make comments on whatever other stories I have told you. Yeah, so the numbers to call are 0817 0000951. The number again is 0817 00951, or you can call 0810-951-0951. The number again is 0810-951-0951, or send a text message to 0701-933-9962. Call here already. Hello, 95.1.
Yeah, Promise.
Hello, could you speak up? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Promise.
Promise?
Promise.
Oh, all right,
yeah.
Promise. So, first of all, what's your favorite Tiwa Savage song?
Go with that, Love Me, Love Me.
Love Me, Love Me, right? Love Me, Love Me was an amazing love song, you know? Well, she has those great love songs. She's been doing great for us. Anyway, so 3 celebrities, 3 musicians that you're going to nominate as president, vice president, and senate president. So, shoot.
You know, this country needs cool and loose this thing. So I'll go for Two-Face as president.
Who?
Two-Face.
Two-Face as president, right?
Yeah.
All right, so
I'll go for Slim Keys as vice.
Okay.
And Naramada as Senate president.
Even as he's in custody. All right.
Yeah, so we passing some laws that we are to.
Oh. Okay, so I really like your combination. Nice one. I particularly love Two-Face as president. I think I'll vote him as well. Anyway, so thank you so much for calling me.
Yeah.
So it's still Naomi. You can call me. Yeah, so it is the entertainment recap here. Further telling you interesting stories. Like I earlier said, the numbers to call are 0817 0000951. The number again, 0817 0000951. Hello, 95.1.
Hello. Good evening.
Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Joseph. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, so tell me your favorite Tiwa Savage song of all time.
My favorite Tiwa Savage song is Malo, the one that he sang with Whiskey, yes.
Oh, all right. That's a really nice song, actually. Yeah, so go ahead to nominate the musicians that you're going to vote for president, vice president, and senate president.
Number 1 is Ubiu.
Oh, all right.
For that one is for president.
Ubiu for president, yeah?
Yeah, he's a great giver.
Okay.
Then Tubaba.
For vice president. So Tubaba is going to be working under Ubiu. Is that?
Yes, ma'am. It's possible now.
Okay, it's very possible, right? Okay. So go on. It's not an age something, Abi. I said it's not about age. It's not about age.
It's not about age now.
Anyway, go ahead. Your senate president.
Branch.
Who?
The
Banj. Oh, nice one. Thank you so much for calling.
Welcome.
Oh, that's rather interesting. The Banj for senate president. Oh, we lost that call already. Yeah, so do keep your calls coming in. I have enough time for one more call. Anyway, so in another story, Harry Songs, who was on tour in Ghana, was hospitalized for food poisoning. So everybody, be careful what you eat. Yeah, be careful what you eat. Also, Kiss Daniel is dropping a new song titled Echo. Yes, new song. Hello, 95.1. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Mike. I'm calling from Guawa, MJ Road.
Oh, all right. So, your favorite Tiwa Savage song first?
I don't have any of it.
Okay, then go ahead to tell me the people who you are going to nominate for president, vice president, and senate president.
Two Baba for president.
Woo! Okay. Your next one?
Imaya for vice president.
All right. And?
Maybe OBO for state president.
Nice. Okay, so thank you so much for calling me. Oh, rather interesting. So, two Baba for president, actually. So, he has gotten 2 nominations. Hello, 95.1.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Faith. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Faith. So, go ahead and tell me, first of all, your favorite Tiwa Savage song of all time.
My favorite song of all time. It will always be African Queen by Tiwa.
No, I said Tiwa Savage song.
Okay, Tiwa.
Anyway, you don't have to go ahead with that. Just tell me the people you're going to nominate for president, vice president, and senate president from the music industry.
Okay, it must not be Nigerians, right?
No, Nigerian musicians.
Okay, then I'll go for Two-Face.
For president, huh?
Then, yes, then for vice, I'll go for Simi.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other one. I can't see me again.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So before I go, one last story. Peter Okoye is set to sue his brother Paul. Yes, Paul King Rudy for using their photo in a show in Angola. Yes, to do publicity for a show. So they used an old picture that he and his brother took to do the publicity for the show in Angola, and obviously the people in Angola will not know that they're probably broken up, except if they're really updated, so they probably won't know, and so they'll be expecting the twins to come together. So sad. So they're in for a surprise, right? Anyway, so this is where I draw the curtain. Oh, before I go, it's been 2 weeks and Naira Marley hasn't been released yet, and his lawyers came out to saying Naira Marley will not run away now, EFCC. It's a billable offense. Let him go. Anyway, so this is where the recap comes to an end. I am Naomi Harry. I have loved giving you all the stories. I've also loved hearing your views.
Who would you nominate for president?
Yeah, two of us for president, obviously. Right. I think D'banj. I like the combination of Two-Face and D'banj. Senate. I think I'll take Simi. Senate president. Yes, girl power.
IG of police.
I don't know. IG of police. I don't know. I wasn't asking that.
I'm asking you.
One more person. I think I like Waje.
For IG.
Yes. Anyway, so the recap has come to an end. Do follow me on social media, Instagram and Twitter at Naomi_Harry at NAYOMIE. Buchi is up next. Enjoy her.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
Weekend, and today has been a great day. You know what they say, there's always there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So no matter how terrible it is, or no matter what you're facing, the light is always there at the end of the tunnel. Just have the patience and keep moving. My name is Buchi Rafwa. We're 2 minutes past the hour of 7. Naomi took a part of my time, which she, of course, will be paying for. But well, it's time for Area Talk, and basically what we do here on Area Talk, we talk about things happening in our communities, things that are going on, what you experience, what you witnessed, the goods, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful that are happening in your community. You get to call in and share with us share all that with us on the program. And earlier today, I heard some persons arguing. I don't know if it's now a thing. I heard it from two different sets of persons because I did lots of movements today, but then they kept on arguing like, no, the traffic here no bad, go Location Junction. The other one was like, no, go Rumola, visit Pleasure Park, you go know what they call traffic. And then the thought came to me, and I was like, okay, where exactly has more traffic? In Port Harcourt, Obiakpo? Yeah, Falga, Obiakpo. I think these are the local governments that people basically... Well, I'm sure that local governments are there, but when it comes to traffic, Port Harcourt and Obiakpo, where exactly do you think have the traffic is more intense than other places? Is it Location Junction? Is it Garrison? Is it Rumola? And where exactly in Rumola? Is it close around Pleasure Park? Or is it at Rumokoro? Wherever it is, I'd love to hear from you where you think traffic is more tense in. And also the issue of keke drivers and all that. You know, so many persons have been saying 1,000,001 things about it. And come to think about it, I told you last week I was stranded for almost an hour without getting, because that particular place, the only means of movement, the very easy means of movement there is keke. And basically, it's been banned from 7 p.m. You're not supposed to be out there as a keke driver because there's a ban on movement of keke by that point in time during the day. So there's been reactions from so many persons, and some keke drivers are complaining it's a part of their livelihood, and some persons would argue all the money you know work from morning to night, and at 7 to which time you want to take work the money. That's understandable. But how about others that actually get back from offices pretty late? I used to know some bankers that close pretty late, although it's been adjusted, but there are some other persons that work and close at about 8, 9, 10. How do they access their houses? And that is not just it. The one that got me pissed off over the weekend was the amount I had to pay for transport just from Mercyland to Choba here. This man wanted to collect 200 naira from me, and I was like, am I mad to give you 200 naira? What is the problem? What exactly is wrong with... There's a thing, you know, we get to complain that well, this is happening, inflation, increase in price, and the rest of it. You know, somehow we're actually the ones doing ourselves. Because I remember back then when the amount of fuel was increased, they increased tea-fare. But funny enough, it didn't go down. And we're still paying that same amount, even after the fuel dropped. And now the issue of keke, I don't know if it happens, if it's during the day. If they are trying to extort people at night, well, we can understand that they are trying to take advantage of the fact that, well, if you don't take a taxi, you'll be stranded, you won't be able to move, and the rest of it. So whatever price they call. But during broad daylight, do you place a gun on my head to collect 200 naira from Mercyland to Choba? Haba. Okay. Well, outside that, I'm sure you're all aware that today is Children's Day, and it is so beautiful. I don't know, I felt really excited. Like I said, I was at several places in town today, and it was so... It gave me joy to see how happy children were going out, especially Pleasure Park. If you've been there today, you see how crowded it is. I don't know if I would advise you to go there, because if you get there, leaving there will be an issue. But, well, it's actually a place you should go to visit, hang out with your children. Wonderful. But then, my point is, I was so happy seeing the children. But then, in the midst of my happiness, I felt really terrible.
I started thinking of Area Talk because, of course, I was going to report it here on Area Talk. I started thinking of what to say during the program. The beautiful and wonderful things to say about our children in Nigeria, how wonderful they are, how happy they are. No matter how terrible the situation is, they always look for something beautiful to smile about. No matter how terrible or how unfed or how unkept they are, somehow they just find a way to put a smile on their faces, and it's really beautiful. But then I asked myself, is there anything we're actually celebrating about children in Nigeria except for the fact that we are alive and our children are alive? Because the basic needs of children, education, good environment to grow up, security, and some other things, how many of that do we get to see our children have in this country? Is it the educational system? Is it the dilapidated structures? Is it our curriculum? Is it the numbers of assignments they pack and give them like they're in secondary schools? Is it the number of textbooks they demand they buy? Is it the fact that they go to school and they don't have roof over their head? They're in school. There's no roof. When it's raining, it pours on them. When it's really sunny, it comes down. When it's scorching, it comes down on them. Is it the fact that they sit on bare grounds? Is it the fact that they study under trees in some places? Or the fact that they have to write on their ties? Which of it are we celebrating? Let's move it down to a health center. Mosquito. Malaria. Oh, Jesus Christ. I just thought of that one now. I don't know where that one came from, but I remember the child that actually had malaria, and this child was almost dying. You see, it's really sad. If you go to the news now, if you go onto the internet and you look around, you'd see 1,000,001 persons all talking about the Children's Day, our plans for Children's Day, what we plan to do for the children development and the rest of it. You'd agree with me that it's not something that just started today. We didn't start hearing about these things today. But so far? How well? What exactly are we celebrating? I'd love to hear from you. If there's something you think, that is outside the fact that we are live, and, they say when there is life, there is hope. I guess we're celebrating that, of course. And we know we're celebrating our children. But then Nigeria as a whole, what exactly is the impact that you have given or you've done in the life of these kids that we're all celebrating now? I'd love to hear your thoughts when it comes to education, their health, security, and the environment at which they grow up. Some persons say, I think that's Bayelsa. I think I'll bring that story to you. Probably when I go through it, I'll have I get the point I'm trying to make. I think there's something about social vices. Children should shun social vices and the rest of it. It's good talk. It's good advice. It's wonderful, and it's what we ought to tell our children. But what are you doing to eradicate these social vices so these children don't grow up in an environment that they feel like social vices are a part of our life? They are things that we ought to do to survive. You see, these days we always say surviving, we are hustling, the hustle is real, survival is real, survival for the fittest and all that. Is that what we are supposed to? We are supposed to live our lives, not just always trying to survive. Are these children living, or they are trying to survive? They are not yet adults. Look at the 13-year-old children, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old girls that are on our streets. 30 years old men are sleeping with these girls. What are you celebrating? 50-year-old men are paying these girls money to sleep with them. What are you celebrating? Fathers are raping their children. 3 months old, 1 year old, 2 year old. What is being put in place to make sure all these things are eradicated? To put strict penalties, to make things much more better, to give these children a better tomorrow. What is being put in place? Look at other countries. I think I heard someone saying something about we being the giants of Africa and the rest of it. Of course, we're the giants of Africa. But what do we have to show for it? Many friends of mine are traveling to Ghana, and I'm like, Ghana of all places, to school. But do you want to compare the educational system there with what we have here? No, you cannot do that. You cannot, because the difference is very clear. So what exactly are we celebrating with our children or for our children or about our children outside the fact that we are alive? You see, feeding. Have you gone to IDP camps? The other day I gave you the report that they feed on onion leaf. There are some reports of those persons in IDP camp that take drugs, tramadols, and the rest of it just to get used to their life and not think of everything that they have been through or what they are still going through. Is it children that are being sent out of their houses because of flooding? What is being done about it? If you're not considering the adults, how about the children? Some persons are celebrating today, but what are they doing for the children? There's a million and one things to say about our children in Nigeria. But like I said earlier, in the midst of all these things, you'd still see them smiling. Like they are not worried. Like there is nothing. We are strong people. I don't know since when everybody started, some person started subscribing to suicide. Any small thing they want to make some kind of tea that will make them sleep and not wake up. I don't know why people dive into that. But I know Nigerians to be strong people, a very strong. They don't mind. They face a million and one things and they still rise up. As this song, you knock me down 9 times, but I get up 10, stuff like that. But then we are strong. Man, you should see the smile on children's faces today. It will just bring, I don't know, it's like you're seeing rainbow. I love rainbows, by the way. So I was just comparing their smiles to rainbows and how beautiful it made them look. I'd love to hear from you. Meanwhile, the traffic around Pleasure Park, if there's any way you used to divert that thing, please do, because I don't think you can stand that. I'd love to hear other places with traffic, but like I asked earlier, which part of Obiapo and Port Harcourt has the most intense traffic you've ever seen so far? I know in Bolu's traffic, I think East West Road, the traffic there is just it's not something that comes up frequently, just something that comes up when it rains, when it pours heavily, and the rest of it. But well, I'd love to hear from you. The number is 0817-0000951 and also 0810-951-0951. You could send your text message or WhatsApp message to the number 0701-933-9962. Let's hear from you. Let's get your thoughts. Let's get your reaction. And let's know what's happening in your community. Meanwhile, people at Woji, over the weekend, we had a report. They kept on complaining about insecurity. It's not just people, some hoodlums going there to rob them. They rob them, they rape them, they take their properties. And the sad part was that according to those that actually spoke with some of our correspondents, they said they have a police station not too far away from them, and it's always an issue for police to get there on time. Back to our security issue. We'll get back to some other stories. Let's take your calls. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
Thank you, my sister.
God's time.
My sister.
Welcome.
You see all this question when you ask now concern the keke and the children. You cannot see how our politicians be now. Politicians in Nigeria, you see them now.
I never see them. How?
You never see them? Okay, make I tell you the one when I see Faba here now.
Okay.
You see, when they campaign, they call all Okada, make them they work. Even if they want to work, reach 10 or 11 or 12, no problem, make them they work.
Oh, they did that?
They do. I'm telling you. The time of the campaign. My sister, did you know after election, they now banned that they will not work out more than 6 p.m. 7 p.m. just as they hear the one for River State too. They say, how the can come deal like this in this country? But when you need their vote, you need their this. You say that they work, they like, when they work very midnight, no problem. But after you are deceived them, collect their vote from them, they vote you in. See how you can rob them with the charcoal. Is that good? my sister.
They're looking at it from their perspective, the fact of criminals using keke
Criminal,
to...
okay, that time of campaign, criminal not there that time. No
okay.
criminal that time.
Okay.
That time of when they campaign for election. Now it is none. You could now when they don't vote in not criminal stuff.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, look at the other one for children. You see all the children when they study for under the chair, under the tree, under here. Now the parents go do that. Been and the politicians supposed to do that. Not the politicians supposed to do that. To prepare that place where children go study. Oh, I pity the politicians in Nigeria. Pity all of them. For A to Z of our politicians. I just pity them.
All right, thank you very much.
To.
Thank you very much, God's time, for your thoughts. Good evening. Sorry I lost your call. Do also call back and let's get your thoughts and your reaction. Like I said earlier, I made mention of the issue of suicide in Nigeria, people taking their lives and the rest of it. I'm sure you already heard this gist, but just to bring it to your notice, it's not really an area talk thing, but it's something that still affects us. And back to the issue of suicide. The PDP, they lamented that the country had been witnessing what it's called escalated misery and depression since the conclusion of the last presidential election. They urged Nigerians to support one another at this trying time in order to check the rising social degeneration, particularly suicide. That's what the PDP had to say. What do you have to say about what's happening in your community? 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Good evening, Buchi.
Good evening to you, Lucky.
Yeah, thank you. You are talking about Children's Day. How the children are happy, even without nothing. The truth is that the Children's Day in my area, Romanalo community, it was not observed. You won't know if any celebration is going on. You won't see people going out and you won't see people coming in.
Really?
So it's like,
why?
Yes. I think maybe there is no fun place in my area. Except
fun place to visit in River State?
No, I mean in my own site.
Okay.
So I said you won't observe whether anything is happening. Though children are happy. You know, in Nigeria we are always happy people. Take the life of Nigerian is always happy, suffering and smiling. That is the way it was right from the day when we are also kids. When our parents are suffering, saying that things are hard, we don't know. We are always happy until when you grow.
Even when you grow. All right. Yes. Thank you very much.
When you notice. Thank you, Lucy.
All right. So, Lucky, before you go, are you there?
Yeah, I'm with you.
You said the keke drivers, they went to protest without their committee leaders. How far about that?
Since then, we haven't had anything, but as I'm talking to you now, they are still operating, but they are going gradually. Maybe by 7:30, you won't see them again. But since then, everywhere is peaceful, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Lucky.
Thank you.
95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello, Buchi. Sister with you.
Brother, turn off your radio set.
Okay. Thank you, my good sister. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Go ahead, B.O.B.
Hey, quickly. Buchi. Let me tell you this. It's me, B.O.B. What I want to tell you is this. Any society, country, family, church, whatever level in the society, whatever aspect of society, that do not pay attention to children and give them honor and respect as in future. That's what I'm telling you this. That is the reason why when children come to see Jesus and his disciples or apostles drove them in, Jesus stopped them. They allowed them to come. For these people are the kingdom of God. Whoever or whatever we are today, from president to this person in the country, is first the children. And sometimes you go to the school where our children attend, so shabby, so dirty, and because the child is not giving proper attention. Why God gave them attention and said, for such is God's kingdom. They can easily forgive, they have good spirit, they don't have anger, they don't have bitterness, etc., etc. So today should have been a day more than even the day of Nigeria independence. Independence will get that almost 100 years now cannot boast of anything, cannot boast of power. Today, Children's Day should have been given a special attention, but it's so cold. And the spirit of these children was only decreased. Because I saw some of them looking for where they are doing party for them, and sometimes no party too for them. So I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. I feel it. The way you feel it. If I'm a woman or a man, any man does not love children, I won't marry.
All right, B.O.B., thank you very much.
That now be dangerous man.
Thank you very much, B.O.B., for calling. Okay.
Like my brother Rostan said, if you are stopping something, let something be there in replacement. You use Camry, you use Jeep, you use Highlander Jeep to rob, to kill, not only Keke. See, I love the governor, I'm telling the truth, but sometimes some action, like the time we stop this team Arif, what did he do to bring back those people to job? Nothing. And I remember one of them said on radio that God has stopped me work, no problem, I'll find my own work. I'm telling you the truth. You don't know where you are coming from.
So your point right now is if you're banning one thing, there should be something in place.
You are banning, okay. I remember time of OD or other governor, universities have free bus. But after the left, where are the free bus for civil servants? Where are the free bus they carry them to work to school? You make life miserable for the people. You don't provide not only infrastructure. That's some things you do. I'm telling you that God himself will be happy. Not going from one place to a town or another. Do something that people know. I know that you will not be totally 100%, but try your best. Like we did that. It's not provided bus.
Okay.
Sure that people
all
have
right, B.O.B., thank you very much.
So as your topic,
95.1 FM, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, Mr. Buchi, please our time. What person cannot take.
Man of Peace, good evening. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah, that is Man of Peace.
I know.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. Let me go direct to my point. I don't want to waste other time. So, Sister Buchi, you know, on this area talk, I complained by my community because of my road. Our road is bad. I don't know those in charge, government, if they listen to this program. From the government has the local government. I don't know if they listen to this. I know they listen. Please, they should help us. So since 2008, I give this complaint that NDDC, they started our road, then abandoned our road. So since then, up to now, so my community, we are suffering. People, they are suffering. Even the small children, when they are going to school, there is no road for them to go to school. Mr. Buchi, they should try to help us. So I am complaining every day. I am begging them. I know that God will do something. God will motivate them one day. They will remember Omonia community in Omoma local government area, because we are part of Omoma local government area. And today, I thank God, River State is celebrating it. So thank you, Mr. Buchi. God bless you, and God bless Today FM.
All right, Man of Peace, thank you very much for calling in. 95.1 FM. Okay, I lost that one. Let's hear from you. What's happening in your community? What's going on in your area? What's the situation of things like? If you're in traffic, would love to hear from you. Where exactly is the traffic holding, or where exactly are you right now? So some others can actually negotiate on a different path. But basically, let's get your eyewitness report on what's been happening in your community so far. 95.1 FM, good evening.
Hello, Buchi.
You are Birama.
Yes, good evening.
Welcome, good evening.
Yes. Buchi, today is Children's Day.
Yes, so I don't know the group now.
I don't know